Stories in motion. Free. The first thing Tobi noticed about Manchester was that everything looked tired. The sky, the buildings, even the people. On their first proper morning, he pressed his face against the frosted window pane of the Airbnb living room. Outside, the sky was a smudge of grey. No sun, no clouds, just grey. Even the birds looked like they were in a hurry. He missed the colour of Lagos. The burnt orange sunsets, the noisy brightness of roadside stalls, the warmth that wrapped around you like a second skin. Here, the air was clean but unkind. The silence outside made him nervous. It was a silence that didn't feel peaceful. It felt empty. They spent the next week buried in tasks. Life in the UK, the quickly learned, came with rules. Lots of them. Register for national insurance, pick up your BRP card, book a GP appointment, find a school placement, open a bank account, sign tenancy papers. Everything took time. Required documents, proof of address, utility bills. Without one thing, you couldn't get to the next. Sekula wahala. Niyi muttered after spending hours online trying to prove he existed. Amaka started calling estate agents. They viewed a few rental homes. Most were small, cramped, or far from public transport. One smelled like cat pee. Another had mold in the corners and the garden that looked like it hadn't seen humans in years. But the agent still said, "It will go quickly, that's a lot of demand." Eventually, they settled for a small 2-bedroom terraced house in a mixed neighborhood. It wasn't bad, just plain. Everything was grey. The carpets, the kitchen tiles, the curtains. Tobi quietly began to hate the color. They bought cheap furniture from a charity store nearby. Lee assembled them with a tired smile and aching back. Ngozi scowled the entire time. Amaka tried to inject joy. She played Nigerian gospels softly in the background, hung up one of their family photos from Lagos on the hallway wall, and made peppermint that nearly set the smoke alarm off. But something had shifted in the air. Everyone was tired, quiet, unfamiliar to themselves. The kids were enrolled in the nearest schools. Ngozi in year 11, Tobi in year 8. Uniforms arrived in plastic bags, stiff blazers, long trousers, itchy socks. Tobi hated the blazer. It made him feel like he was wearing someone else's skin. School was confusing. The teacher spoke quickly, using words he didn't know. The student looked at him like he was a new exhibit in a zoo. "Say something again," one boy giggled on the first day. "You sound like the guy from Black Panther." Tobi said nothing. Another girl asked if his dad was a prince. Someone else wanted to know if he'd seen a lion in real life. He didn't know how to answer. He didn't know if he wanted to answer. He just wanted to go home. Not to this house, but home. Ngozi had her own battles. She came home with her shoulders stiff, eyes guarded. She didn't talk much. Her voice began to change, slowly, like she was trying to flatten her accent. One night over dinner, she said casually, "It's better if I don't speak to Yoruba in school. They just stay weird." Amaka gave her a long look but said nothing. Niye, now working part-time for a courier company, came home late most days. His back sore, fingers numb from sorting parcels in cold warehouses. He rarely smiled now. When he did, it was small and tired. Not the full booming laugh that used to rattle their ceiling fan. Amaka worked shift as a living carer. Sometimes she'd be gone for 2 nights straight. The kids would microwave leftovers. Niye would come home and fall asleep on the sofa, still in his boots. The silence that had once belonged to this new country was now inside their home. Still, there were small sparks of joy. One Saturday, they found the Nigerian grocery store 2 bus rides away. The woman behind the counter smiled like an auntie from church and called Tobi, "My pikin." She sold them goat meat, ground crayfish, Maggi cubes, and gala. Amaka nearly cried. Another day, a friendly Ghanaian neighbor knocked and introduced himself. He offered them a eater he didn't need and asked if Neye liked football. Tobi finally made one friend, a quiet Somali boy named Yasin, who liked drawing superheroes and didn't ask stupid questions. But joy here was rationed, measured in teaspoons. A smile here, a good weather day there, a warm jollof night or pizza night, a silent nod between Neye and Amaka after a long day. It wasn't enough, but it was something. And for now, something had to do. Stories in motion. If you have enjoyed the story so far, what are you waiting for? Why have you not liked and subscribed to my channel? The UK didn't just speak English, it spoke a different English. Tobi learned that quickly. His teacher said timetable, like timetable. His classmates said cheers instead of thank you and asked him, "You alright?" without actually wanting an answer. He never quite knew what to say back. He began keeping a list in the back of his notebook, words that needed translation. Biscuit also means cookie. Rubber also means eraser. Chips could also mean fries. Trainers also meant sneakers. Knackered means tired, very tired. You alright means hello. Language wasn't the only thing that needed decoding. School here was strange, quiet. Everyone stayed in their lanes. Teachers didn't raise their voices like back in Lagos. Detention was a bigger punishment than caning. Nobody stood up when a teacher entered. No one brought their lunch in cooler flasks or plastic bags. Just sandwiches and crisps in ziplocs, bland and pale. Tobi missed the noisy rhythm of his Lagos classroom. The scraping of wooden chairs, the smell of meat pie from the tuck shop, the boys who played football barefoot during break time, the girls who mocked them from under mango trees. Here, even laughter felt polite, contained. He did make one real friend, still, Yasin. They sat next to each other in art class and bonded over a shared love of comics. Yasin drew brilliantly, superheroes mostly, black ones, Muslim ones, African ones, heroes who looked like them. "I used to draw with candlelights back in Mogadishu," Yasin said once as he shaded in a massive afro on a character. "Here, we have light but no time." Tobi understood more than he could say. At home, things were shifting too. Ngozi had changed. She started wearing hoodies and trainers every day, even indoors. She switched from Afrobeat to drill music. Her accent was softening at the edges. She began saying "in it" and "bruv." She scrolled endlessly on TikTok and only came out of her room to eat or argue. One night, she cut off her long, relaxed hair, walked into the kitchen with a buzz cut and a blank expression. Neye dropped his spoon. "Ngozi, what is this now?" "It's hair," she said flatly. "It will grow back." Amaka didn't say anything. She just turned and quietly wiped her hands on a kitchen towel. Ngozi left before dawn the next day for school. Tobi saw the clippers still lying in the bathroom sink. Neye tried to keep order in the house, but his patience thinned with each delivery shift. His phone kept ringing with job alerts and calls from back home. Uncles asking for help, old friends sending "just checking on you," messages that led to shortstory requests. They thought the family was swimming in pounds. Meanwhile, Amaka barely had time to see. A care job meant sleeping in strangers' homes, helping elderly clients bath, eat, and remember who they were. She came back smelling like hand lotion and tired feet, her hair sunken and voice cracked. Sometimes she'd come home to find everyone already asleep, and the next morning she would be gone again before anyone woke. One evening, Tobi came into the kitchen to find his father standing still, just standing in the middle of the floor. The microwave was beeping, but he didn't hear it. He was staring at the photo of their Lagos living room, now framed above the sink. Tobi didn't speak, just stood beside him. After a while, Neye whispered, "We were happy there, weren't we?" Tobi nodded. That night, dinner was eaten in silence, not out of anger, but fatigue. heavy, bondage, tiredness, and conversation couldn't kill. And yet, even in the hollow quiet, small joys tried to survive. Ngozi helped Tobi with a project once, a model of a solar-powered water filter. They argued the whole time but ended up laughing when the bottle burst and flooded the living room carpet. Amaka brought back puff-puff from a new African store. Tobi devoured it while dancing to an old Wandiko song she played on her phone. One Sunday, Lee surprised everyone by making yam porridge. It was too salty, but they ate it anyway, pretending it wasn't. These moments were fleeting, fragile, but they lit little flames in the fog. The family was changing, drifting, adjusting, translating. Every day, they became a little more part of the country and a little less of who they had been. But in the confusion, they clung to what they could, their accent, their prayers, their names. For more chapters of the story, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe.